Part of white supremacy is that they have always flipped rules against us. With the Winter Olympics in progress, a lot of eyes have been on figure skating and the excitement of a current American skater, Ilya Melanin's amazing backflips. I couldn't help but to remember that almost 30 years ago, and I remember distinctly, a black woman was not celebrated whatsoever in the same way. In 1998, Surya Bonaly was backflipping her ass off and was criticized and scolded for doing so. Very different reaction. While backflips were banned at the time, part of the rationale was that they couldn't be landed on one foot. But Surya was absolutely landing on one foot in compliance with the governing rules and standards. But she still suffered a points deduction every time she landed one. And this is not a new dynamic, as when in 1967, a young Lou Alcindor, later Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, was killing kids in college by dunking all over them. The NCAA all of a sudden decided to ban dunking for the next 9 years. When black folks excel, white people will change the rules to try to neutralize that excellence. Again, none of this should be a surprise, as this is the same country that closed public pools and eliminated free in-state tuition when black people began to have access to those things. One of the many ironies of Trump's attack on DEI, an alleged desire for a level playing field, is that the premise is based on a lie. White people, or most of them, have never wanted level and never wanted equal, but rather always tilted dramatically in their favor. They have always flipped rules to ensure that our excellence was neutralized.
Hey y'all, and I'm really not trying to get this young little boy too much, because he's a kid, he's a younger man. But this is why we continue to say, stop playing with us, because they sat up here and gave him all of this press as if he was the second coming and did all these amazing things, and even had headlines that say he did something that's never been done before. And Surya Bonaly is walking around here and was doing a backflip since she was 12 years old on skates. And the fact that y'all tried to erase this woman and act like she didn't do greatness because y'all chose at that time to make it illegal because she was the only one who could do it. Y'all tried to erase her and act like you literally headlines saying he did something never been done before, which wasn't true. She did it. Y'all just penalized her for it and said it was illegal. But it's been done on the Olympic stage. And today he gets up here, falls twice, misses 3 jumps. This is because y'all continue to play on our tops, and it's Black History Month. And even though she's not a Black American, for sake of this argument, y'all fucking with black people during our month, and the ancestors ain't playing with y'all. Stop playing with us. Stop taking our credit away. The days of black people not getting credit for the shit they did, it's over.
People's mentality and the judges back in 1998 were much more narrow. People didn't have open mind.
U.S. figure skater Ilya Melanin landed a backflip that elevated his team to Olympic gold in Milan. Now, despite the headlines, he's not the first to land it at the Olympics, just the first to do it legally. At the 1998 Nagano Games, a French figure skater named Surya Bonaly landed it on one foot. Now, it was an illegal maneuver then. That ban was reversed in 2024. And after Ilya landed that backflip, I wondered, what did Surya think about his backflip, her backflip, and the renewed interest on her 98 program?
It was my last competition of my skating career. And also, I wanted to leave a good note because I was injured, but, I wanted to finish strong. Doing the backflip for me was like the last card I can pull of my games, and showing that, people will remember me for what I did at this moment.
We saw in these games Ilya Melanin do the backflip. Mm-hmm. And so when you saw that, what went through your mind?
Backflip is something that somebody had to put a step on and say, okay, I can do it, especially after a lady who did it years ago. And I'm grateful that skating finally stepped up and going forward. and everyone's happy. The fans, what people watching television get to see and say, yeah, that's pretty cool.
And how does it feel to be remembered for that backflip?
It's amazing. Look at how many years happened in my last competition, the Olympics, and still people talk about it. Every time I wake up and I see my message, my phone bump with messages, I'm like, wow, I guess people did acknowledge what I did. It's funny now. It sounds better than when I did it back in the days. It warms my heart.
Hello good people, hope you are doing well. Thank you so much for the support and for the love that you guys continue to show us. And now going back, as you're celebrating Black Americans are celebrating the Black history in United States of America. Just as by doing so, something is just the history is unwrapping itself, because you can't imagine this is a month or this is a moment or a season whereby there is this man called Lily Marine who is celebrated in United States of America in a figure skating tournament that happened in the USA, whereby he had such a group of people and he did a move which was banned before, and by him being the white man, the move is not illegal. Okay, the same move, there is a lady who did it called Surya Bonaly. Surya Bonaly did the same move in the year 1994. Did backflip landing on one foot, and because of that the move was so illegal, and because of that move only, because the performance was excellent, because of this one move the judges deducted her some points and making her to lose, and she was just given a silver medal. But now the same move has made a white man in United States of America, a white man, to win with the same move and to be given a gold medal. Now tell me here, like, is this not what we call a racial discrimination? Is this not what we normally call like double standard in Olympic on games, whereby now we are looking back now to those incidents and to those things that happened by then, and we are learning of what happened and how far the Black Americans has gone, and the price that they made for them to be who they are and where they are in a country, in a society whereby they are not even appreciated, in a society whereby they are not even celebrated. So these guys, I think you went through a lot, and by all these, we are looking back now to these scripts that we have played in this video, that we owe the credit to the owners of these scripts and these videos, and they're there for us to learn. And many players being discriminated, a double standard that has happened, and you come back with more commentary. You tell us what you think.
So today's episode of The Law Behind the Look, I wanted to talk about the supremely talented Surya Bonaly. Recently in the Winter Olympics in Milan, the American figure skater Ilya Manilin stunned the crowd when he did an electrifying backflip. This move was spectacular, but it reminded people of the incredible talent that is Surya Bonaly. And the fact that she did this decades earlier has spurred a lot of controversy regarding the fairness and the way that athletes were treated. And a lot of people do not know about this French trailblazer in the figure skating world. So who is Surya Bonaly? She was born on the 15th of December 1973 in Nice, France. She was adopted at just 8 months old by her parents, Suzanne and George Bonaly. Though they had initially planned to adopt a child from India during their travels, there was a change in plan, and actually an orphanage in Nice said that there was a baby in need of adoption. Hence Surya's name, which means the sun. Growing up, Surya's mother was extremely passionate about sports, and she nurtured this talent in her daughter. Her daughter tried out a variety of different sports, including fencing, figure skating, and gymnastics. She quickly became the junior world champion in tumbling in 1987. Now, Surya was supremely talented in gymnastics, but she fell in love with figure skating. When she was 11, she moved to Paris with her parents, and a year later, she ended up joining the French national team under coach Didier Gallagher. Didier nurtured her talents and spotted her very, very early. He knew that Surya was destined for greatness and was able to foster a national spotlight for her. She won the French national championships at just age 16. She actually won 9 in total. Although Surya was a huge talent for the French Figure Skating Federation, she noticed that she wasn't exactly welcomed by the judges with open arms. The figure skating world is known for being extremely subjective, and rather than focusing on athleticism, at the time the focus was on musicality and choreography. Surya was often penalized for slowing down before she performed these very athletic combinations. They were extremely difficult, sequences that involved a lot of rotations in the air. But very early on, Surya was labeled as different, and many journalists noted the coded language that was used to describe her in comparison to her counterparts. Often things as trivial as her outfits that she wore to rehearsals were noted by the judges. There was one occasion where she was told that what she was wearing likened her to a court jester, and that something smarter was more befitting for a figure skater to wear. Surya realized very quickly that she wasn't going to fit into the mold of a figure skater that the judges had in their minds. And instead of adhering to preconceived notions that were often outdated of what a figure skater should be, Surya decided to nurture her talents and focus on her athleticism. Surya's skill and technicality were undeniable and unmatched. When Surya went to the 1992 Winter Olympics in Albertville, France, she was determined to land a quad, as an extremely difficult combination that involves 4 rotations in the air. And at the time, her coach Didier was vehemently against her attempting to do this quad. Surya, nevertheless, was determined to try, and as she did the jump and performed the sequence, she was under-rotated. She ended up being in 5th place. This is where Surya and Didier parted ways as coach and athlete, and her mother took over. Many people at the time questioned her mother's choices to focus on athleticism rather than choreography and musicality. Now, this musicality and choreography was the point of contention between Surya and the judges. In the 1993 championships, Surya skated extremely well. She landed 7 triple jumps and a triple combination, but she only wins silver. In comparison, Oksana Bayul landed 5 triple jumps and no combinations, yet she won gold. This deeply hurt Surya and was another example of the clear double standards and biases that the judges had against her. So in 1994, Surya decided to focus on choreography and musicality, which had been the key source of contention between her and the judges. So in 1994, when Surya skates in the World Championships in Japan, she executed every move brilliantly and did everything that was asked of her. She focused on musicality, choreography. She skated clean. She finally thought that this was the time that she was going to be a gold medalist. But after a lengthy review and a very narrow vote, the gold medal went to Yuka Sato of Japan. Overcome with emotion, feeling as though she had done everything the judges had asked her to do and still somehow was penalized, Surya very tearfully refused to stand on the podium and defiantly took her medal off. This bore her sharp condemnation and criticism, and you could audibly hear the crowd booing. But what they didn't understand at the time was Surya was a frustrated athlete who had done everything that was asked of her. But in a sport such as figure skating, which is extremely subjective and often decided by the subjective views and internal biases of judges, Surya felt that the game was rigged against her. Despite doing more combinations, more spins, and taking on considerably more risk, it seemed very easy for the judges to continually snub Surya. particularly in a sport that is as subjective as figure skating, where there is no end clock and there is no finish line. In one of the episodes of this Netflix series that was dedicated to Surya and her story, she talks about the double standards that she faced as a Black athlete. She said in the documentary that she felt that Black athletes oftentimes had to be impeccable in order to garner recognition from the judges. In 1998, during the Winter Olympics in Nagano, Japan, and despite being in incredible pain as she had ruptured her Achilles, she still managed to perform what became known as the Bonaly backflip. Although it was deemed as an illegal move at the time in figure skating, much to the judges' horror, Surya Bonaly performed her backflip and the crowd went crazy. It ruptured a huge applause from the audience, who gave her a standing ovation before her program even ended. So in an incredible career lasting 9 years, Surya was a 9-time French national champion, 5 times European champion, a 3-time world silver medalist. And that's when she turned pro. And turning pro was extremely freeing for Surya. Instead of being admonished, she was applauded for her skill. Today at 52, Surya is a patron for the figure skating world, and she often champions young individuals from communities of color to enter into the world of figure skating. She is an icon, a legend before her time. And the way she dealt with everything with such class and grace, she is nothing short of supreme. And I'm so glad that this resurgence now of the backflip has triggered people to think about when she did this decades earlier on, and she was penalized for it, rather than being celebrated for her athleticism and her talent. And I hope today that Surya Bonaly can get her flowers that she very well deserves. Surya Bonaly is an icon in French figure skating, and for athletes in general. And that's the law behind this look.
So I just want to talk about something that is really annoying the shit out of me. As somebody who has been watching figure skating for like 35 years. And that's in relation to the whole backflip situation with Ilya Malinin and how it relates to Surya Bonaly doing the backflip in the Nagano Olympics in 1998. Was the ISU racist towards Surya Bonaly? Absolutely yes. They hated that she did not fit the mold of what they wanted a figure skater to be, right? She was dark skinned. She was very athletic. She was definitely pushing technical boundaries that a lot of skaters weren't doing, right? She was the first woman skater to attempt a quad jump, right? She didn't land it, but she was breaking the mold in so many different ways, right? And unfortunately, the ISU hated her for it. That being said, her getting heavy deductions for doing the backflip during the Olympics was not a target to Surya. The reason why is because the move had already been banned from ISU competitions by that point, right? It had been banned from 1977. It's only been legal since 2024. And we're talking like late 90s here. So we're in the midst of a ban. And Surya is not stupid. She knows that. And the reason why she did it during the Olympics was that she was essentially thumbing her nose at the ISU in general. She did that on purpose. She made a point to, when she finished her program, her back was to the judges, and typically you have to finish facing the judges and things like that. But the deductions weren't specifically because of her. It's just the rule. And the backflip being legal now doesn't mean that it should have been legal back then. Because it just wasn't legal back then. Nothing they can do about it. Like, the ISU has a lot to apologize for and a lot to atone for in regards to her, but the backflip penalty is not it. It's not it, period. And I will say the only reason why backflips became legal was because Adam Xiao of France was doing it in his programs, and he was taking the deduction every single time. And then at a certain point, the ISU decided that it would be permissible, but it's not credited as a jump or anything. It's credited as a part of a choreography sequence. So it only has like a certain max level of points. I think it's only like max 5 points or something like that. So yeah, like it's one of those situations where both things are true. The ISU was racist. Her getting penalized for the backflip had nothing to do with her personally. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
I know y'all saw this crazy backflip at the Olympics. Team USA skater Ilya threw a backflip on ice, a move which used to be illegal. But we gotta talk about Surya Bonaly, a French figure skater who went down in history for throwing a backflip. Bonaly is a well-decorated figure skating legend. But in the 1998 Winter Olympics, she was skating with a new purpose. Her purpose was to protest because she felt like she was being judged at harsher standards than her competitors. The performances she was giving throughout her career were more difficult because of the skills, but her scores were not reflecting that. So in the 98 Olympics, she threw a backflip, but not just any backflip. A one-blade flip, she landed on one blade. First to ever do it. But the reason why it was a protest is the move was illegal. The ISU, the International Skating Committee, banned the move because it was dangerous, and they said it didn't fit the aesthetic of ice skating. But Bonaly had been judged harshly throughout her career, and I'm not just talking her skating, like her body too. People thought she looked too athletic. Now what do you mean by that? And you know what? People said the same thing about Serena Williams, that she's too big, she's too muscular. Straight up, they were targeting black women's bodies. So Bonaly gave the world something to look at by throwing and landing that flip on one blade. She got a deduction for that move. She didn't medal, but honestly, I think what she did was bigger than that. She showed the world that black athletes have a place in ice skating and weren't going to be leaving anytime soon. The backflip was made legal again in the 24-25 season, which is why we got that great performance from Ilya. So let's remember the pioneers that paved the way. And in this instance, it's Surya Bonaly.
They need to apologize to her. They need to go back and issue her gold medal. They need to retroactively issue her all the points that they deducted from her, and all the praise that she has not gotten and all the ridicule that she has gotten. They need to walk it all back. The Olympics Committee can do that much, because this gentleman here is great and he's doing great things, but we cannot call it historic because she did it way back in 1998. And for you, if you want to watch a beautiful story, go watch the Netflix series called Losers. Her episode, I think, is episode 2 or 3, one of my favorites ever. Enjoy.
Look, you want to activate people of a certain age, say something about Surya Bonaly. Say something about Surya Bonaly. Because one thing about TikTok, every couple of months, somebody will post that video of Surya Bonaly doing that fucking 1 foot landed backflip, and the internet will be like, they disrespected my girl, like how dare they, blah blah blah. Because I grew up, I had two bitches I fucked with, Surya Bonaly and Michelle Kwan, okay? And I remember when they played in Surya's face at the Olympics, right? She would be in like Stars on Ice with like Brian Boitano and Nancy Kerrigan and them, right? And like she stayed doing a backflip, always doing a backflip. And these motherfuckers, see, because I think at one point the backflip was legal. At one point, but it was only for men could do it, right? And it was always landing on 2 feet. Then here come our black queen, Surya Bonaly, right? And she was doing backflips on 1 foot, and they're like, oh no, backflips are legal, they're too dangerous. Because the rule of figure skating is that you have to land on 1 foot, right? And the dude, that one time, the guy was like in the 70s or something, there was like one legal black backflip, he landed on 2 feet, and he was like, it's dangerous. And here comes Surya, I was like, oh, if the rule is I gotta land on 1 foot, bet I'm gonna hit this backflip and land on one foot. And they're like, ooh, you can't do that. And she was like, you made the backflip illegal because you said that the rule is that all jumps have to land on one foot. Here I am jumping, landing on one foot. What's the motherfucking problem, right? And then what she do? Perfectly executing backflip. That Surya was backflipping, all right? And then they was like, ooh, it's illegal, you can't do it, right? Now, Ilya over here up in fucking Milan Cortina hitting a backflip, and everybody's like, oh, here go the U.S. Olympic people talking about, oh, look at this amazing backflip. Don't say shit about Surya in there. And everybody's like in the comment section lighting them fuck up like, we ain't forget. Okay, this was 1998, not 1908, bitches. We alive. Okay, and one thing, you want to unite the generations. Okay, you want to unite races, ethnicities, languages. Bring up the disrespect that was paid to Surya Bonaly. We will light this shit on fire. Okay, I'm a Ilya this, Ilya that. No, put some respect on Surya's motherfucking name. I don't care if you made it illegal again back in like 2024. I don't give a shit about 2000 motherfucking 24. Y'all played in that girl's face. Oh, jumps gotta land on one foot. She land on one foot. Well, we said backflips are illegal. No, you said backflips were illegal because they was landing on 2 feet. Here I am landing on 1 foot. What the motherfucking problem? And what y'all do? Y'all said it was a motherfucking problem. It's fuck you forever. I love figure skating, but put some respect on my girl name. Then y'all want to post a video. Oh, look at Surya Bonaly. No, y'all played in that girl's face. Now y'all want to put a video up about. Fuck.
Surya Bonaly gave everything to a sport that didn't love her back, and as a result, left with the most iconic FU. Welcome to day 7 of your Sports Story Advent Calendar, where we're reliving some of the craziest moments in sports, and y'all, Surya was incredibly talented, but was judged on more than her skating, and everyone knew it. Surya was adopted from an orphanage in Nice, and growing up, there was no one who looked like her. She started tumbling at the age of 2, got really good, even winning silver at a world championships, but figure skating was where she wanted to be, and by 12, she was already completing triple jumps. Surya's mother was always by her side, was her very first skating coach, and in the summer of '85, she was discovered by a guy named Didier Gaihuagay, who invited her to go train in Paris. Within a year, she was on the French national team, but come to find out, Didier wasn't a great guy and embellished her story, saying she was found on a beach in Madagascar and at one point claimed that she had never gone to school. Anyways, due to her tumbling background, if Surya was going to do one thing, it was jump, and in the summer of '90 at an event, she attempted her first quad, landed on 2 feet, won bronze, and at the awards did a backflip. So after winning her final junior world championship and going on to win her first European championship, people really became drawn to her, but there was one big problem. Figure skating was very political and subjective. Skaters were white, elegant, and referred to as an ice princess, but Surya didn't fit in this box, and although she tried to push the status quo, the judges were hating her for it. The 1992 Olympics were in France, and Surya was really excited as she was at home, though this is where the problems started to present. During warm-up, she'd do backflips for fun, fully aware that they were illegal, and people thought this was to intimidate the competition. So with that, she was given a rare warning, which her mother was furious about, but since she was who she was, she had to go along with it. On top of that, Surya brought up doing a quad in her free skate. Her coach said no because of how it would be judged, and it caused a whole argument, but being known for jumping and wanting to stand out, Surya went for it anyways, thinking she landed it successfully, but apparently she under-rotated, was downgraded, and finished in 5th place. At this point, I want to emphasize that Surya would go for triple combinations and sequences, knowing she had to be exceptional so race couldn't be used against her. Yet as time went on, it was evident that this wasn't enough, as in the '93 World Championship, she did 7 triple jumps and a triple combination, whereas the person who won gold did 5 triple jumps and no combinations. According to the judges, her main problem was in presentation and artistry, so in the following season, she switched coaches with the main goal of trying to appeal to them, and y'all, she did everything, even changing up her own aesthetics, which included switching her hairstyle. The 1994 Olympics rolled around, and she was feeling confident, though it was overshadowed by Tonya Harding and Nancy Kerrigan, so she knew she had to stand out. She went into the free skate in 3rd, but knew in the back of her head that even if she had a clean skate, the judges weren't going to give her a perfect score, and she ended up calling this a nightmare. She fell on her triple lutz and finished in 4th place. Just a month later, it was time to redeem herself at Worlds, and not only was this an important moment, but it was also incredibly heartbreaking. Surya skated so well that she was confident she won gold, and all her hard work of appealing to the judges was paying off. Yuka Sato also did incredibly well, so it was a really tough race, yet one judge ranked Surya 3rd, so she lost by 0.2 of a point. This was incredibly disheartening, as despite doing everything the judges had asked for, it still wasn't enough, and with this type of thing happening consistently, consistently, Surya was fed up and wanted to make it known. During the medal ceremony, she protested by not taking to the podium. When she did get up there, she was in tears, took off her medal, and y'all, this was so sad.
Just heartbroken. Oh, and she takes off the medal.
Literally makes me want to cry, and the way the reporters treated her afterwards was even worse.
What was the problem?
Judges, unfair to you. You deserve the gold medal, Surya. Told you not to go on the podium. Was it your decision?
Just listen. If nobody thinks it's not, I'm not first. I think it's not good.
Will you quit amateur skating now?
I don't know.
Given her talent and history, it was very clear that the system was broken, yet Surya still powered through, trying to find a way to win. By 95, she had won her 5th straight European title, becoming the first woman to complete a triple Lutz, triple toe loop combination in competition. And come World, she won her 3rd straight silver, which although this one did make a lot more sense, she kind of started to decline from here. In 96, she ruptured her Achilles, was thankfully able to qualify for her final Olympics in 98, and the main theme here was that she was aging out. She was so determined to finally win her gold medal, but the day before her free skate, she pulled her groin so badly that she wasn't able to walk. This was obviously devastating because after years of trying to fit into this box, her main power of jumping was taken away from her. So instead of trying to appeal to judges that already had a dislike for her, she decided to give everyone something to talk about, thus creating an iconic moment. Surya knew she wasn't going to win, and for the first time in her career, she was able to do whatever she wanted. So what better than pulling off her iconic backflip and landing it on one foot? She said it was easier than doing a triple jump. The fans loved it, the judges hated it, and with that, she fell from 6th to 10th place. To further extend the FU, she bowed to the fans first instead of the judges, but none of that even mattered because she literally retired right after the event and ended her career on her own terms. With Surya now being a household name, she went on to do ice shows all over the world, performing her backflip over 500 times, as well as triples, quads, backhand springs, you name it. She absolutely loved this, saying she could be herself, do whatever she wanted, and no one was going to yell at her. She literally did this till she was 41 and now speaks to inspire figure skaters of color, also coaching in Minnesota. Unfortunately, she had her medal stolen last month, which given everything she went through to get them is incredibly heartbreaking, but nonetheless, absolutely no one can take away her iconic backflips and the incredible impact that she had on the sport.
And by all this, we can all start and join hearts together and say that there is no figure skating backflip landing on one foot without Surya Bonaly. That's what we can conclude on all these incidents and all these controversial stories that are happening. And the racial or double standard occurs, has been applied on your field. Just know that as a black person, you just lose it. You just lose it. I don't know what this Olympic a group of people will do now to crown her back the victory and the pride, because she paid the price, and we can say that she was the first woman in the world to do a backflip in skating landing on one foot. It is not a recommendable work that she was supposed not to be celebrated. Was she not supposed to be taken special in a way that she has marked a record whereby nobody has ever done so, especially a woman? And if it happened before, it was backflip and the man landed on 2 foot. So what I can see is this is not about a man and a woman. This is a woman competing, and this is a woman whereby now this man is looking at the moves that she did, and he has practiced. That's something which Surya did, and without now even like looking at who has ever done so. And you have acted the same. He is the one who has been crowned to take the victory, to take the prize. But the one who paid the prize is just, she was punished by doing so. But this other man, this guy is celebrating by doing the same thing. Now we are looking back and seeing like how the racial discrimination this monster has costed a lot of people. There was a time that she demonstrated in a silence way that she didn't take even that silver medal, because that's what not she deserved. She deserved a gold medal because inside her she knew very well, being a retro, imagine being that young girl, just because you are a black you are discriminated. Inside her she knew very well that I have won, I am the one who deserving to be crowned and to be given this gold medal. But because of my race, because of my color, just have just leaked out my pride of being a skater. And now they're coming to crown me with a silver medal, and she refused, which is a good demonstration whereby if they're not giving you what you deserve, don't take their offer. Don't take what they're offering you. Do something like Surya did. She did a backflip, wanting to know and for them to know that this is who I am. This is what I am. I want to mark a history. And that is what she did. Regardless of her being rejected, regardless of her being so discriminated in that tournament. I can imagine what she went through, or the judges, and these are mature men, they are big, like to compete with her, with the crown, with the glory. But now see, who are we celebrating? We are celebrating her today, because nothing on earth or nothing under the sun will ever go in vain. It's not in vain whatever you are doing. It will come and be crowned later. Just start on what you're doing. Start strong and fight for what you know is right. And by doing so, it will come back and crown you. It will speak for you. There are times whereby we just release and we let things just go. They have decided to go, and you just be like, you silent, but don't take their offer. You just let the things flow. Kalma will teach them. Kalma will teach them that that glory doesn't belong to you. Don't deserve it. It belongs to somebody else, because it will never forget. It will never. Time and seasons and the history does speak for people. And now it is speaking for Surya, whereby we are remembering her on what she performed. Like the glory now has gone back to the history. People are not even like celebrating what really Marine has done. Like, how would you like made something so illegal? And the other side, it is legal, meaning that they didn't ban the danger that maybe they were perceiving or they are seeing like these people will be in danger. No. What they banned the color. They banned a woman, a black woman performing. That is what they were banning. That is what they were trying to do. They were trying to eradicate and to ban a black woman performing in the skating on that figure skating events. And because they will not say it loudly, like, we don't need blacks, we don't want blacks to do this game. What they did, they made laws. And sometimes that is what has been happening in the history of the black people, whereby the laws were made for you to be restricted, for you to be in a cage, for you to be not free. The law was made not because you were weak. The law was made because you were strong. And they knew that you break the code, you break the history. But when now it comes to the white, to them it is legal thing, that whatever they are doing is right. But the same thing that you are doing, because you are black, has been framed like it is illegal. It is a sin. And now you have been jailed. And now see how the illegal entities, these illegal entities made sure like they have introduced these policies of police harassment and enforcement and all these things to make the black culture, or to make the black people in the United States of America to suffer. Because you are even told your culture is a crime. your culture is not right, is a crime. But now when it comes to white, to them, they are clean and they are white. So guys, I don't know whether you're seeing what I'm seeing. I don't know whether this has just touched you deeper, because I'm trying to analyze, I'm trying to get the point whereby that the same thing which has given someone glory, that the same thing was used to punish another. Meaning that whatever you are doing, there is no sin. We create sin. It is the systems which create sin. It is a system which create things are illegal. It is a system which create because they want themselves to be somewhere, because they want to cage you. They don't want you to see. They don't want you to be opened. They don't want you to get to your fully potential, because when you get to that point of you are exercising the full potential of who you are, of course they cannot beat you. Like Sulaya, we are learning with her story. They would not have beaten Sulaya because Sulaya was so confident. Surya Bonaly was so confident. She was very confident. Like she knew that they have not and they cannot beat me. And now the power now came now down to her level, whereby it is the power which beat her. It was judges who beat her. But now to the people that they were competing with, they could not and they would not have beaten her up. So guys, I don't know what you think about this incident. Hit that button of comment, tell us something, tell us what you think. How does it make you feel? Like the pride, has it just come back? Like this is who we are, this is how powerful we are. We are oppressed because not because we were weak, we were oppressed because we are strong. We went through that because they feared us, and now even to date they are still in a fear. That is why they tormented you. Don't get that torment to ruin or to grab the strength and the power that you carry. Just continue making the future of the Black Americans to be what it is and what it means and what it's supposed to be, because we are strong. That is what we have learned with the Surya Bonaly incidents, and that is what we are learning. And guys, it's a good move. So with this and many more, we'll come back.